love all of our players. Freddie, nice guy.
Look, the crack of that bat. Nothing more beautiful than that.
Baseball is such an important part of our family.
That's the beautiful game of baseball right there. You win some, you truly lose some.
I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me. Is it walk up or walk out song?
It's their walkout.
Walk out song or walk up song?
I just was looking at this.
I never know.
Well, for some of the guys, it's their walk up song.
Oh, maybe it's walk up for the hitters and walk out for the bullpen guys.
So it says warm up. Walk in. What does Google know? Walk out?
I think I say it differently every time.
I think it's like walk up song for hitters, in my opinion. And then in my mind, it makes sense they walk up there. Mm-hmm. Or they...
Yeah, when you're hitting, you're walking up to the plate. And when you're going to the mound, you're running out of the bullpen. So you're walking out. Also, did you notice that
it's like walk up, walk in.
When they come out of the bullpen, they stop at a certain point and wait for their name to be announced and then they continue?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They walk out, walk out, walk out. They hear their name, they clap, and then they run.
Yeah. Do you know what I forgot to do when we were at the game?
What?
Usually...
Throw Adam over the ledge?
Well, obviously. Yeah. But because we were sitting and we can see into the Dodgers dugout, I really wanted to watch them more. And I forgot. Because usually I'm behind the Dodgers dugout, so I can't see them. And when they do well, I'm always hoping that the camera pans to the dugout. And it does, but just never long enough. So I wanted to watch their reactions to things, but we were too excited that I feel like
if I'm at a game, I'm too into watching the game that I don't think I notice that stuff as much. But when you're watching on TV, they obviously get panned a lot more. Or if you're watching the recaps or stuff on social, I think that's where I end up watching.
I wish there was an entire feed of solely the dugout.
Imagine the things we'd see.
That's what I would watch the whole time because that's what I want to see more of. I want to see all their reactions. And a lot of times they don't pan to the dugout until a couple seconds after, so we're not seeing their initial reaction. And I live for that.
But then how are you going to do that but also watch the game?
I know.
Because I want to watch the game. I want to see what's happening on the mound and over the plate.
I want both. So I need one camera.
You need multi-streams.
To see what's happening, and then one on the dugout.
Okay.
Is that possible?
I'm sure we can find a way. We'll have to go learn and meet the cameramen at the Dodger Stadium and be like, I know you guys have a way to be paying attention to that.
You're right. We need to now make friends with one of the camera people. Mm-hmm. We know the ball people.
And now camera people are on the future agenda. And then we'll get to upper management.
Working our way there. Well, welcome back, guys.
Yeah. Talk Dodgers to me. Episode
24. 24.
Crazy.
Kobe Bryant.
The show. 24.
The year we're in.
We are in 24.
Should we keep going?
That's a good point. A year I don't remember, but was
24. Once. Spent on Sunset Boulevard at the Den.
Wow, you remember? Wow.
That's where I spent most of my time when I was 24.
I was in LA, but I don't remember what I was doing at 24. Actually, I guess I kind of do. No, it may have been early. I was going to say I was starting in this industry. No, I think that was 22.
I forget which of all the jobs I've had I was at when I was 24.
I was in LA. I know that much. That's about all I got.
I just know I was having a lot of fun and going out and making friends and going to the Den a lot. Because I was living right by Runyon at the time.
Oh, I remember Runyon. It's probably still a big deal, but I remember it being a big deal back then.
When I first moved to LA, there were a couple things I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Bay Cities. Because I heard they had the best sandwiches.
Great sandwiches.
Everyone always talked about going to Runyon because they're like, that's where you'll see celebrities.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Heard both of those things.
What else did people tell me? Oh, I heard about Diddy Reese cookies.
Yes. What happened to those? Do they still exist?
Probably.
I remember that being a big deal, too. wow, that all feels like a blast from the past. But also, I was going to say, so does the age of 24.
Yeah.
I was going to say, not the year. We are currently in it.
2024, the year of the Dodgers.
The year of the Dodgers. Guys, I'm wearing my 2020 World Series sweatshirt today. In honor of, we need another one. I need a new one this year. 2024.
It really is the year of the Dodgers for us with the podcast.
It is.
Because we're paying attention more than ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm paying about the same attention that I did previously. I mean, I watched as much games as I did back then. But I think I'm paying more attention to the news of things now. Previously, it was just I'd watch all the games or as many as I could within what is reasonable in life and with other plans going on at times. But I don't know if I maybe read as much news as I do now. So maybe, there's a little uptick, but it's the year of the Dodger.
It is.
For us, for Adam even.
For Shohei.
This guy never thought he was going to be paying attention to
Did you ever think you'd be doing a Dodgers podcast, Adam? And how do you feel about it as a Cubs fan?
We're looking back.
No.
And guys, just to let you know, Adam is back with the sunglasses again.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
No, I didn't think I'd be doing a Dodgers podcast, but man, life throws curveballs, right? You just go with it. And I still don't pay attention to the Dodgers. I don't even pay attention to you two when you talk about the Dodgers, so.
That is true. He doodles.
Just what we want to hear.
He doodles, by the way.
That is not true because you're pretty quick with your responses.
That's also a fact.
I'm just quick on my feet,
He just wants to give off that he doesn't care. But he cares.
He definitely cared about the first 2 wins of the Cubs, and he definitely cared when they scored in the first inning and then didn't care when we started scoring.
Y'all, he threatened us that he was going to bring a broom.
So I brought this today just in case he pisses me off.
Although we haven't quite figured out how she's going to get out of her chair to hit him with it.
But I already did hit him with it today.
That's true. We're promoting violence on this show now.
It's just a fly swatter.
Yeah. And he's a bug, He's bugging you.
Ooh, yeah. So should we just start off with the game or what?
Anywho, yeah, we should. Guys, we went to Max Muncy Bobblehead Night on September 11th, the very sad day that once was in history. But this year, it was a very happy day for us because the Cubs did not sweep us.
Dodgers weren't going to let that happen.
They wouldn't. They had already lost 2 games just in preparation for us to come to the game, knowing they needed to get a win. Thankfully, due to the offense, not helpful, unfortunately. Our pitchers didn't really do a lot of helping in that manner. But our offense came through.
They really came through.
Was so sad. It was wonderful.
So the first 2 games were pretty hard for us to deal with because Adam had the upper hand and was feeling really confident.
He really let us know, too.
He really did let us know.
And, I watched them. They were good games, once again, pitching. A little painful to watch, except for Yamamoto in game 2.
He crushed it.
He did a good job, and I will say that was nice to see him back on the mound. Nice to see him get through 4 innings well, and obviously, hopefully he gets ramped up and is able to go longer than 4 innings moving into the postseason. But it was a nice little.
Well, that was the plan, and the plan went
executed
smoothly. I wish he could have stayed in longer because he was performing so well. But you got to ease your way back.
Ease your way back, and it went according to plan up until Evan Phillips gave up.
Up until he wasn't in the game anymore.
Well, no, the guys that came after Yamamoto did okay. It was when Evan Phillips came in. He let up
maybe you're going to have to fill me in because, guys, I really don't like to watch the highlights when we lose. So I just didn't.
So she's like, I'm not going to pay attention.
I just don't like to set myself up for sadness. So
Melissa lives in a world of rainbows and sunshines.
No, I try to as much as I can.
Well, and the world's a dark place, so it's nice to be in the rainbows and sunshine.
Yes. I'm aware it is a bit of a bubble. Mm-hmm. But that's okay.
Being a Dodger fan sometimes can be a bubble.
It can be. Actually, Mookie and Ian Happ on Mookie's podcast were talking about how spoiled Dodger fans are.
Yeah, we are.
But also how amazing it is that they put us fans in a position where we can
spoiled.
watch them win so much. Because I don't think any team has ever been to the postseason in as many consistent years as the Dodgers have.
Yeah.
Right?
The only other team I could think of that maybe would compete with that is the Yankees, but for the most part, no, at least not in recent history, I would say. I would say it's definitely been the Dodgers. And that's true. I mean, we are spoiled, and I
do understand
but
baseball more than I ever have now since starting the podcast and just really being interested in learning more about it.
Yeah.
And so I think with our wins and losses, I am less attached to every game being a win. I understand that the game of baseball
ebbs and flows.
Yes, and the players ebb and flow. Yeah. And so
and as I told Nick the other night on our drive home, I would far rather win 95 games and win the World Series than win 110 games in the regular season and then go out in the first round, which we have done before. And so I love the regular season because I love the game of baseball and I love watching as much as I can. And yeah, of course, you want to win every game. That's the whole point of being a fan. But that's also not the game of baseball. And to your point, you're not going to win every game.
So you have to sometimes let the Cubs win too, because my emotions,
that's true.
Responding to Adam's obnoxious texts and however he was acting when the Cubs won, ranged from frustration to annoyed to then, you know what? I'll let you have it because you're not gonna get in the postseason.
But we gave it back to you though.
I just love
God,
how
that first inning.
It's the language around losing. We have to let the Cubs win. We just have to give it to you. You know, the Dodgers are in complete control, and we are going to let you win. It's okay.
Yes.
We got it. You know what?
You're welcome.
Little pat on the head to you, little Chicago Cubs, and to everybody else. You guys can have this one. Okay, cool.
We'll let Belly have one or two.
That was so good. You could hear it in his voice, the riled up anger. It's brilliant.
So how are you feeling?
Look,
the first two games?
Let's talk about how terrible the Dodgers defense is. Let's talk about how scary the Dodgers pitching staff is. Why don't you guys talk about that going into the playoffs? Because those 2024 sweatshirts, those 2024 World Championship sweatshirts aren't coming in the mail if you guys don't figure that out.
Oh.
I don't disagree.
No, me
that.
either. And
Look,
we will get to that. But right now,
we're going to talk about the postseason concerns that terrify the living S out of me over here. Pitching, ooh. Defense, yeah, needs to be improved, certainly. But at least we're going to the postseason.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
He's all big game.
No, I reckon. Look, I'm as frustrated as any Cubs fan with this season, but
yeah. What happened to you guys?
We just had a 2.5 month stretch where we were just putrid on offense, just really, really bad. There were stats worse with runners in scoring position, just horrible across the board offensively. And that lasted for 2.5 months. We've since gotten out of it, but
just a little too late.
PCA has been awesome the last month.
Yeah,
but
he
robbed Muncy of a homer.
Muncy's home run, and we could have won game 2.
But weren't the Cubs really close to making the postseason last year too?
Yeah, but then they had a completely horrible September. They just tanked in September. And we're just too far behind.
You have to be in the mix leading into September, and then you have to have a good September.
Well,
it's hard. Even in the past when we've made the postseason, but if we haven't been great in September, there's a reason we've gone out when we have. You got to be hot at the end.
Mm-hmm. There's an old baseball adage. You don't. It's something like you don't make the playoffs in April, or you don't win the division in April, and the Cubs had an incredible April.
Yeah.
You don't win, but also those games matter too.
They do, but you can make up ground in April. So the Cubs just were awesome in April, but then they were terrible in May, June, July, and now they are fighting
Like,
in September,
August
but it's
isn't
too
enough.
late. And the Dodgers are on the opposite side most of the time, where they play really well for the first few months of the season, and then they don't really need September all that badly.
Yeah. But I would say we need September right now. And it's not per se for our record. Like, I mean, it seems like we will probably win the division at this point. But it's less about that and more about how we are playing in September and how are injuries. And we'll talk about that with pitching because, man, it is scary.
But it really seems like their whole season has been...
Injuries?
Well, yes, unfortunately, but we've been talking about the postseason since before the season even started. So it's how we're playing and how we're going to play best for the postseason. This whole season has been about putting different players in different positions, seeing how our pitching's doing to set ourselves up for the postseason.
Well, and I think it's on their mind because of the fact of how every postseason has gone lately. And
yeah, for sure. And that's
so
what people talk about with the Dodgers, and they want to change the conversation. And I want them to change the conversation too.
Me too. I want to see a different thing happen. I don't want the same, response every single time.
Well, it is different because we're playing more competitive games now. We don't have a 10-game lead in our division.
We don't.
And our players are sick of hearing it.
And we're in a division that's not easy. The Padres and the Diamondbacks are playing really well. They're both really good teams.
Really hot right now.
I would love for neither of them to make the postseason, but that's not going to be the case. And
I don't want to play them.
No, I don't.
In the postseason.
No, I
Those are actually the two teams I don't want to face.
Yeah.
I'd rather face the Phillies.
Yeah, and that's a good team right there.
Who also got beat by the D-backs last year.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh. Who's leading in the East right now?
The Phillies.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I meant Central. I do that every time.
The Brewers.
That's it. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's not going to be easy. That's the whole point. Postseason's hard. Mm-hmm. But we should really get back to
the game.
The first inning?
Oh, my God!
Adam, how was the first inning from your perspective?
Did you get there right?
I got there
right after Adam was hooting and hollering about the Cubs scoring too?
So, just so everyone has a little context here, we rode separately because Nick and I drove together and I had to wait for him to get home. But they had to go to make sure we got the Muncie bobblehead. Mm-hmm. And
wait, also, when I got in Adam's car, he was playing the Go Cubs Go song.
Like the whole drive.
Why don't you give us a little taste of the song, Adam?
How does it go?
No, I'm good. How I experienced the first inning, I was really displeased with the nachos. I thought the nachos were really terrible.
That's his whole take.
I don't fully understand how they can charge as much money as they did for that. I
Yeah.
don't think that.
Well, also they're like pre-made too,
yeah,
so they're already ready and they hand them to you.
Well, they claim it's carne asada, and I'm going like, kind of looks more like ground beef to me. It was just it was really not a great experience.
Yeah.
From a
they
food
didn't
perspective.
look that great.
So bad.
Although I liked my food. I tried something new.
I brought food in, which
Allie brought dinner, guys.
They both learned you could bring food into the game. I don't know if you all know this, but you can bring food in. You can't bring drinks or alcohol, but you're allowed to bring food.
Dodger Stadium, BYOM.
Yeah. Bring your own meal, baby.
Meal.
And look,
what was the reaction from the security guys when you were giving them Tupperware with food?
They were fine with it.
They weren't surprised or anything?
No, they were just like, cool.
They were like, so what you having tonight?
Come on through. Lady, bring in
It was, I've never seen anyone eat their own food at a game.
I can't, we're doing some health things right now for my body, and I can't eat any of the food from Dodger Stadium at the moment. So I had to bring my dinner because your girl gotta eat. But we got there at just after the top of the first inning.
Mm-hmm. So I only got to enjoy
Adam
thankfully standing, clapping, making sure every Dodger fan around us heard him. Mm-hmm. And I was just cringing in my seat.
Yeah.
Like, sit down.
But as soon as we got there, guys, and Nick and I came in and we sat down, and the Dodgers came up to bat. Nick got the scorecard ready. started putting all the information in. Shohei comes up to bat.
And what does he do?
And we all are like, guys, he could get number 47. What if we see 47?
And I'm already like, maybe we'll see 50 today.
Yeah, she was real optimistic, and I loved it.
That would have been great.
And then, y'all, seconds later, what do we get?
A Shohei homer.
We got number 47, and we got to see it firsthand. It was amazing. We're hooting and hollering, having a great time, whacking at him on the shins, and
dancing,
yeah.
yelling, screaming.
Oh, it was the best.
But not only did we get a Shohei homer, then we got back-to-back homers.
Yeah, we did.
Tommy Edman, Will Smith,
Yep.
Muncy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in
also,
the first.
Muncy has a homer that, it's gone when he hits it. And he smacked the shit out of it.
Yeah. But Shohei's homer was a laser beam. Just like, whoop-ah,
Yep.
straight out.
Yep.
It was gorgeous. We need to sit in the home run seats, y'all.
I know.
It has to we have to go buy those tickets and do it.
I know. I think that would be fun. Mm-hmm. We'd have to get pretty close to try and get a ball. But I also just love a Muncy homer because he knows exactly when it happens and just his reaction and that confidence
he has this just like
that edge. He's like, yeah, I just did that, and then drops the bat.
Yep.
Runs around, does his little thing.
Then he trots around the bases.
Did you see his little daughter imitating him in the start of the game, and she was doing this?
Cute. Okay, did you ever figure out if his second kid was a girl or boy?
It's a son.
Okay. So that was one thing that I did ask Melissa at the game, because, I don't know, we were talking about Muncie, because it was Muncie night. And I knew he had 2 kiddos, and he had a little girl, but I didn't know what the other one was, so.
I saw pictures, and he has a little boy, too.
Cute. A little future.
Yeah, so it was cute to see Muncie's daughter throw the first pitch and just how cute she was running around. It also was really beautiful to watch the pregame show, the national anthem, which was beautiful. And yours and Adam's coworker knew Lauren Evans, who sang a beautiful version of the national anthem.
Yeah, and America the Beautiful? Is that what she said?
Yes, and then she came back in the 7th.
Yeah, so our colleague / friend Tony knows Lauren Evans, Grammy-nominated, I don't know if it was Tony too. She's nominated for lots of things. She is very talented.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So we had a whole array of friends at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, as soon as we showed up, it really was just all beautiful and just not great for Adam, and we loved every second of that.
I truly did know that we were going to win because, as I was saying, learning more about baseball, especially learning more about how the Dodgers play, sometimes you can almost predict what's going to happen just from past performance. Yeah. And they tend to have a couple of games that they lose and they don't play well, and the offense isn't really clicking. And then they come out swinging and hit a bunch of homers in a row, and that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. And I've never been there to witness one of those games. And so this was incredible and truly we both were just in our happy place. We were having the time of our lives, dancing. Yes.
And it was one of those that
even Nick was so excited.
Nick was having a ball and I loved it. And what's funny is that so at one point in the middle innings, we went down and said hello to friend of the podcast, Miley
hey.
was there. So we went and sat with her for a little bit, and as lovely as it was sitting with her, it was the only time that the Dodgers were not scoring, and that's when the Cubs had a little offensive moment. And
I'm glad that we weren't there because we didn't have to witness Adam being obnoxious again.
Yeah.
So only Nick did.
The Cubs started to come back.
I was obnoxious.
You were.
Did any of the Dodger
obnoxious.
fans around us say anything to you, or just?
No, they were smiling at me. They were
not.
They were.
They were rolling their eyes.
They were probably just like, "Oh, that's."
I made the
Cubs
people
fan.
in front of me laugh.
You know what? They probably were like, you know what? Let's let him have it. Let's let him have it. The Dodgers scored 4 home runs in the first.
Entitled Dodger fan yet again. We'll let him have it. It's okay. We got it all. So you know what? Everybody else who's poor can have it.
You like to push my buttons. I can do it right back to you.
You guys can have it too. It's all right. We have so much. We're so spoiled. So you know what? Everybody else can have a little bit. So generous of you, Dodgers.
I stopped listening and tuning him out.
Well, but anyway, when we decided to finally go back up to our seats, part of me superstitious,
We actually looked at each other at
baseball
one
player.
point and
I
we're
was
like,
we haven't scored since we've been down here. We
should go back
We
up.
have to go back to our seats so that we can start scoring again. And guess what? As soon as we got back to our seats, what did we do? We scored again. It was so good. And what I really loved...
how did we score that time? Did Teo hit someone
It was in the 7th.
Yeah.
We went back up bottom of the 7th. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember who scored for that one. I know Tommy Edman hit 2 home runs that game.
2 home runs, 2 games in a row. And you know he has a new nickname.
What?
Tommy Tanks.
Oh, okay.
That's what all the players are calling him.
Nice. I like it. I love how they come up with nicknames.
He's awesome.
They should give us nicknames.
And he's really performing well.
He is. And
4 home runs, and those were his first 4 home runs with us.
You know what? And we needed those home runs. Here's what I will say is I was very, very glad, as much fun as that first inning was, I was very glad to see us score, not just in the first inning, but in multiple innings after that.
It was back and forth the whole time.
2 or 3 innings there in the middle where there was no scoring and they were scoring. But we scored a bunch at the beginning of the game. We scored a bunch in the back half of the game. And we needed every one because the game went 10-8.
Because Belly was back at his old home of Dodger Stadium, and he was looking right at home.
It's like Belly had muscle memory of what it was like to hit homers in that stadium. Mm-hmm. So he played very well against us. I wonder...
Did he hit a home run in every game, or 2 out of 3?
Adam, I know it's at least 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
So here's a question I have for someone like Belly who spent a lot of years with us and then obviously, come back. There's got to be something about playing against your former team that just like adds oomph, right?
Yeah.
And you probably play better against a former team than other teams because there's just more drive, I feel like, a little bit.
And Michael Busch
Kinda
also
stick it to
hit
ya.
a home run in his first at bat back at Dodger Stadium, right?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, actually, this would have been a good question to ask Katie last week of the stress mindset
What's
of
the
players
psychology
returning.
behind that?
So let's analyze it ourselves. There's so much adrenaline and thoughts and memories surrounding going back to somewhere you played, especially somewhere you played for a really long time.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He did so much for our team.
Yeah.
So,
Won
and
MVP
also there's such
there?
comfortability
Yeah.
at that stadium. And I'm sure when they get up to bat, they're getting all the applause. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it depends on how you left the team.
I think either way, though, it can make you perform better.
Yeah.
If you left on good terms, you come back, you feel really comfortable, you know the stadium well, you feel good, so you're performing well. Also, you probably have more people
there to like cheer you on.
Yeah. Or the other way around, maybe like Freddie Freeman returning to Truist Park.
Yeah.
That's Braves. And he was not thrilled about how he left things, but his first at bat, he hit a home run too. So it kind of goes
I think it's a combination, like you said, of the comfortability of being in a place that you are so familiar with and know so well. But then also whatever that drive is, whether it's I'm back in a place I like loved and have so many memories of, and I have the support here and like, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Or whether it's they didn't want to pay me the money or they didn't think I was worth keeping or fighting for. And therefore I'm going to show them.
Yeah, there's definitely
a combination.
Wanting to prove yourself factor no matter what the circumstance is.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Adam? About players returning to their home or returning to their former team.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah,
you have
nothing, not paying attention.
Nothing to add or contribute?
No, I think there's motivation. I think, there's like practical reasons too. I mean, they talk about pitchers who go to different parks and them having different levels of comfortability with how they come off the mound. Mm-hmm. Ryan Dempster was on the marquee broadcast saying like he always loved pitching at Dodger Stadium because he liked the feel of the mound. I can imagine from a batter's perspective, even different. I mean, the batter's eye is meant to make it equal on seeing how you see a pitch coming out of a pitcher's hand, but even different batter's eyes can maybe help and maybe, Cody might have seen the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand better just because he liked the batter's eye at Dodger Stadium. So I think there's little things that are just part of the stadium itself that can give a practical advantage, as well as a an emotional advantage, just being back in a place that you're comfortable with. I think there's a lot of factors that could contribute to that.
Well, and he did hit a lot of homers at Dodger Stadium back in the day when he was with us.
A lot of homers and really
Other than that
pivotal
1 year.
moments too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that down. Well, that's
Other
why.
than that really down year.
Yeah, and then he was off the team.
Which is why he wasn't with us.
But it's also cool to see the evolution of his batting stance. Because I remember there was a time where he was just standing up straight. I felt like he didn't bend his knees at all.
He's still a stick, but yeah.
Now it's like a little bent, I noticed.
He's getting a little into it. He's starting to get a little older. The back's starting to hurt a little more.
He also just feels like when I listened to him talk to David Vassay, he did an interview, he just seems kind of more comfortable in his own skin, more mature. He's a dad now.
That's
Can you
crazy.
believe that he's a dad of 2?
No, because in my mind he's still a child.
I know. That is
so
still a little
weird.
crazy.
It's so wild. Anywho, you know what else we saw though?
What?
We didn't just see his 47th home run. We also saw his 48th steal. Yeah, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's coming. Yeah. That's the part that's crazy to me, is that he's gonna run for it. He's done it 48 previous times, and everyone knows he's going for 50. So you think they'd be a little bit better about getting him.
He's definitely going to go past 50. It's amazing to see such a big guy run so fast.
God,
but I think
quick.
the coolest thing to me, despite the numbers, is just how I imagine he is in going into the season and knowing he's not pitching and wondering how he can help the team in another way that he hasn't had before. And so that was stealing for him. And he's not just stealing to steal. Maybe he's going for it now because there's such hype around it. But he's putting himself in situations that is really helping the team. And if you look back on every single one of these steals, he's getting home a lot of those times.
He's putting himself in scoring position.
Actually, that's another thing that can contribute to his
MVP
talk about
candidate?
MVP talk, because there's a lot of debate between Lindor and how he's playing really well defensively and has more opportunities to help the team win.
Yeah.
But when you really think about all that Shohei is doing, he's now added another element to his game in how great he's been at stealing. And he must also have a really great relationship with our first base coach, Clayton McCullough. Is that his name? I think. To tell him, because it's like, it's coming, which is a great point that you made. Yeah. That almost you wonder, and maybe he's just too quick. Because
I think he gets the disengagements because they're aware, and so they are throwing to first base. But you can't just do that over and over again. You only get you get 2 disengagements.
Yes.
And
what's a disengagement?
Where they throw to first base.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do a third time and you don't get him out, he automatically goes to second, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a great moment in the 8th inning where Will Smith got out the guy at third.
Yes.
That was a great play. Oh, no, that was actually in the 9th inning when Kopech put us in a really scary situation.
Kopech
bases loaded and then
3 dudes. Ugh. It was
after
scary.
Such an intense walkout or walk up or whatever.
He has a great walk up song.
Whoever's been to the game to see him come in and has experienced the lights going out, his song coming on, and him running out, that gave me chills.
Yeah, it was an exciting
It reminded
moment.
me of the Timmy Trumpet song for Edwin Diaz on the Mets. From last year, which I really enjoyed. And I do frequently play that because it does pump me up.
It's her pump up.
We also listened to it before the episode today, so I'm all hyped.
we got pumped up by that and pumped up by Michael Kopech's song.
But it didn't really help him in the game. That was probably his worst outing for us.
It was, but thankfully he did get it together and he managed to get out of it. They only scored 1 run and then we won 10-8. But yeah, it was a little hairy there. Mm-hmm. He had, I think, 7 or 8 balls in a row.
Yep.
That was not ideal.
Adam was getting excited.
He was getting a little too frisky over there.
That was because I had to go to the bathroom. I was getting like antsy because I had
I
to go to
don't
the
think
bathroom.
so.
really
I
bad.
think you were really
He was going to get another beer,
thinking.
drowning his sorrows away.
Although my very favorite was that in the bottom of the 8th, when we scored those 3 runs that ended up being helpful for us, he didn't know who the reliever, like the guy coming in to try to, not let us score any runs. Wentinger.
Oh, yeah. Winginter. We tried to say his name so many times.
Adam didn't know who he was, but then just started calling him Goober.
Oh, yeah.
Because his ERA wasn't great. It was like 19 when he came in. And then we scored him, and he's like, well, now his ERA is 21. And he's like, you Goober.
You know, actually, Adam went into the game feeling very confident because Bobby Miller was on the mound. Threatening to bring a broom out, that they were going to sweep us,
rightfully
blah,
so.
blah, blah.
We didn't win that game because of Bobby Miller.
But no, we didn't. And he was right in kind of feeling that way. Unfortunately.
I said to you on the car ride there that I was not feeling good about Jordan Wicks. I did not have a good feeling about Jordan Wicks tonight.
But you were happy that it was Bobby Miller pitching for us.
I was. And
he's not wrong about that. Although, you know what you were wrong about, though? I just
only want to tell you what you're wrong about.
You trying to persuade my fiance into rooting for your Cubs when we were away for 2 innings in other seats. And you're like, Nick, it's okay. You could root for the Cubs. You can root for the Cubs.
That's what you did?
Yeah.
What'd you say to Nick?
I just said, why does he care what the Dodgers wants? Why can't I have an ally?
And what did he say to you? It was really fantastic.
He said, like, no, I'm getting married to a Dodger fan or something like that.
And that's not what he said. It's not what he told me. He's like, yeah, Adam tried to get me to root for the Cubs. And I told him, I was like, dude, your team's not making the playoff. Why would I root for them? He's like, no, I'm going to root for the Dodgers. Because, partly, yeah, because he is marrying a Dodger fan. And
he also lives in LA. Adam, how long have you lived in LA?
11 years.
So you've lived in LA for 11 years. You're now producing a Dodgers podcast. Has anything about the Dodgers made you like them a little bit more?
No.
Nothing? Nothing we talk about? Nothing about the organization? How much we love them?
I like them less.
How?
It's just my nature.
I need reasons. I need reasons. Or are you just trying to piss me off again?
He's just a stubborn little Eeyore, and that's why.
It's fun. You're making a Gonsolin move over here.
They're becoming.
Maybe he's coming to save the day.
I don't think
what,
so.
Adam?
Evil Empire West.
You've said that
he
forever.
loves to say. Oh God, is this guy's
That's what
head
you
supposed
call
to be...
the teams that are winners.
Is this guy's head supposed to be sideways?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it because his arms.
Okay.
This was a gift from my friend Natalie and her boyfriend. So thanks, guys. They gave me a couple bobbleheads.
Cute. We love that. Mm-hmm. But there was some more drama that happened, actually. Not in the game we went to.
Wait, I just wanted to tell the people that I tried a new food item for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
I tried the smoked chicken sandwich. Mm-hmm. It was delicious.
It looked good. It looked very juicy.
Really messy, but I loved it. I ate every bite.
Yeah, first baseline.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, don't go for the nachos, but like the Hawaiian, the Hawaiian bender.
Yeah, on the Hawaiian roll.
And the chicken tenders looked good too. Mm-hmm. So next.
I really need someone to try the peanut butter.
My sister will.
Sandwich.
I don't have a desire
and
for
tell
it,
me if it's good. I would never want to eat the whole thing. I just want like a bite. You know?
I think my favorite thing I've had at Dodger Stadium is the Korean chicken bucket.
I was going to say, is it that fried Korean chicken bucket?
Because I saw someone else with it who, actually, we got asked to get up and let people go in the aisle so many times. Yeah. It was very annoying to me. More times than I've ever experienced.
Really?
But I guess because we were, like, towards the aisle.
Edge.
But those waffle fries, oh, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you mentioned that if you could have found them, you were going to get the chicken tinga, Joe Kelly chicken tinga tacos.
I didn't know where it was.
Well, if somebody knows where they are, let us know, because Melissa needs to get them. Because
I did want to try that.
There's like 2 more games we need to go to this season. Mm-hmm. Because there's a Kershaw bobblehead night, which, guys, we need a Kershaw bobblehead on this table. Yes. And Joe Kelly bobblehead night.
We need all of them.
Same week, guys. We got to go to both.
Is there a theme to the Joe Kelly bobblehead? Because he's had lots of different bobblehead themes.
It didn't look like it from the little picture they showed on the
Just a regular one?
board, but
What's his deal right now?
I haven't seen him in a little bit. Is he still hurt?
Yeah, let's get back to this.
What?
Sad.
You want us to
Your
talk
pitching
about?
staff is a mess.
Okay, well,
Tyler
first
Glass
off,
now
though-
can't throw a
Okay,
pitch.
can you just let us bask in our winning glory
defense is
for a
kicking-
moment?
Defense is kicking the ball all over the field.
Before we
Tommy
get into
Edmonds
that,
missed
And
third
we're
base
still
by
gonna
about
win the
30
division.
feet.
can you tell us about the drama that happened with your closer?
Porter?
Yeah, Porter. Like, what's going on with
Oh,
dude's
yes, I wanted
heart?
to talk
I
about
don't really know. I mean, I just saw that he had a elevated heart rate or something like that in the ninth inning, which he came back and got the last out. So
He did. It was very sad. Well, he got the last out,
well,
but
he
he
didn't
got
get
a
the
lot of
last
help.
out. He didn't get the last out. PCA
He got
the
a lot
last
of help
out.
from PCA. That's what I was going to
Oh,
say.
that was the Muncie homer
That was the Muncie
that
homer.
he stole?
He stole a 2-run
I was
Muncie
really
homer.
impressed by PCA.
Yeah, he
but also
played
was
well.
really hoping that Porter Hodge was okay, because that was really scary. He
It was.
gave the hand of
And
I
he,
need
went
time,
on-
and
he,
then you could
went on a
see
knee.
him grab his chest, see all the coaches come out, and that's really scary. Yeah.
He's been really good for us.
So he has a pre-existing heart condition.
I don't know if it's been diagnosed, but from what I
Okay.
read, it's happened before. Like
there
this
was just so much
elevated
talk
heart
about
race is like it's not the first time he's experienced it. So I think they're starting to actually run tests to try to figure out what's
But
going on.
that
with
does
him.
seem to me like an anxiety attack.
That's scary.
It is really scary. But I guess he was okay and feeling well enough to close out the game.
Yeah.
But wishing him all the best. The only thing I didn't like, because I was looking in the comment section just to gain some knowledge on what happened, and a lot of people were hating on the Dodgers for booing the situation. But I do want to say, the fans that are at the game had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, you
and
don't
if you're
know.
at any game, that's what you do
Yeah.
when the other team calls time and when the catcher's running out to the pitcher. They're always going to be booing.
especially without it's different if you're booing and you see someone get hit. You know what's happening. You see it. You saw it in that moment. You're not going to boo
Yeah.
that.
You're like waiting for
But you don't
information
know
when you're
what's
sitting in
going
the crowd.
on. And yeah, so I could see why they would boo. But you know what else is giving me an anxiety attack?
What?
Our pitching staff going into the postseason. Should we move into that? Should we talk about that terrifying moment
Oh my god.
right now? And the only person I feel safe with and feel confident in is Jack Flaherty. God bless the fact that we got him at the trade deadline.
I know.
But tell me one other pitcher on our staff that you feel confident going into the postseason is that you're like, yep, I'm not concerned.
It's Jack.
There's no one else. Because, I mean, Kershaw hasn't pitched since he got that unfortunate,
It is amazing to see
he had
that
the
he's
unfortunate
still
outing.
throwing. He's like in a chair throwing, which I love to watch how hard he works in his work ethic. But does that mess up his throwing if he's throwing from a chair? Don't you laugh.
Why is he throwing from a chair?
Like with his knee on the chair, not sitting in the chair.
It's
Stop laughing back there.
It's just it's scary. It is really scary right now, and it's not just the Dodgers that are dealing with this. I know other teams are dealing with injuries, especially in pitching, because of the nature of pitching at this day and age. With everyone has to throw the hardest, fastest that they possibly can, and then everyone's on the IL. But we have been plagued all year long by it.
But is any other team having this amount of pitching injuries? Because I did hear a conversation on Foul Territory where they did single out the Dodgers, saying,
Yeah.
you continue to have this problem. You can't have your guys throw at full speed all the time.
Well, I think he means that in general, but yes, the Dodgers have experienced it more frequently and for multiple years. This isn't the first year which we have this issue.
Exactly.
It's just incredibly prevalent this year because everyone is pretty much on the IL except for Jack Flaherty. And you just came in with an update about Glasnow.
Guys, we just got the update that Tyler Glasnow was supposed to throw a simulated game today, and he couldn't even throw the ball. That is not good news.
Yes. So, well, that's shit out of luck.
Well,
right
I was
there.
just wondering because when I heard them single out the Dodgers for this, saying like consistently this has been a problem, that our pitching always goes down. Every team is doing things differently. It was interesting to learn that the Cubs don't do bullpen sessions as much as every other team. So everyone has different strategies. So I'm wondering if like maybe they should do some more bullpen sessions. And maybe the Dodgers should switch up.
Should do a little less.
Yeah, do a little less.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer, but they're going to have to figure it out for future seasons. Because if at a certain point you're going to run out of pitchers.
Oh, I know who I feel confident about.
Who?
Yamamoto.
Well, I don't fully because we haven't seen him go more than 4 innings.
I'm just very hopeful.
He's been out. I was going to say he's probably second on the list just because he did have a nice outing the other night. But it's the first time we've seen him since... What was that, May? When did he get hurt? Was it April? It was May, right? Like, we haven't seen him in months. And so this is his first outing. Postseason is different. He's never played in a postseason. Yep. There's a lot of unknown there. So I feel a little bit better with Yoshi. But then from there, Bueller's not where he needs to be yet. He's not back to speed. Bobby Miller,
however,
doesn't need to remotely be in the postseason.
I don't think he's gonna make a spot.
He's not there yet. He's not ready. And
he's in a sophomore slump.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna get rocked in the postseason if he's on that roster.
I just think what felt really hopeful to me about Yamamoto is that everything was clicking for him. Yeah. You know how we're watching Bueller every time, and I know that Yamamoto did not just go through a Tommy John surgery, but every time we're watching Bueller, it's like he's getting better, and then he's feeling more comfortable, and he's like, oh, this felt good to me. We're seeing him continue to progress when, right off the bat, Yamamoto showed us that he does seem to be clicking in all aspects of his pitching game.
I'm going to lean into your optimism on him because otherwise, like, we're going to have a one-man rotation.
What else can we do?
I don't know what to do.
We're not going to be negative Nancy's like Adam.
I'm half...
Hey, don't call me Nancy.
Why? That's my Nana's name.
I'm a
She's not negative though.
I was gonna say worried Willie, but that's weird. I need a different one.
I'm a worry willier. A worrywart.
No, where's a female? What's a female name?
With a W?
Worry.
Wynonna. I'm a worried Wynonna.
No.
That's terrible. But so I just, I'm tiptoeing very lightly into this postseason with my little antsy about that. But I want to be positive. But just like, dude, Kershaw hasn't played since that outing in Arizona, which was really sad and tough to watch. And I don't trust it right now as much as I want to. I want him to be able to go out and like finish well.
I know.
But I don't. And Stone and Knack, I don't know what to do with. I don't know.
And even thinking
they've
about...
had good moments. They've had terrible moments.
I actually feel good about Landon Knack. I think he's not like someone that everyone talks about because he doesn't like pitch the fastest or the hardest, but he's consistent.
Given up some games. And so it's just...
But he's been great filling in for these guys. And the other scary part is that, a lot of our main guys that we would want to be in our starting rotation are on the IL right now. So when they come back, they don't have the time that like Bueller has had this entire season to get himself back. And I do actually feel like every time Bueller has come out, he's gotten better.
Yeah, granted, last time he came out, he gave up 5 runs.
I know.
So
it's
just okay. Shut up.
Ignoring.
So it's tough. Like I'm very in this moment. I'm grateful I'm not the one that's in that decision seat to decide who the postseason roster for our pitching staff is going to be. But I don't know.
It'll be really interesting to see what the Dodgers do.
And that Glasnow news is not good because I was really hoping and banking on at least Flaherty and Glasnow.
I know.
And then Yamamoto. And then, okay, you need 2 more to fill in. What is that? What is
I
that?
thought that this was kind of a strategic move for the Dodgers.
Well, that's what they
to
had talked about, right?
But it doesn't seem like it.
Which is interesting because isn't he the one who mentioned he wasn't happy with the IL thing?
So maybe it was the Dodgers saying, "I know you think you're okay, but you're not showing signs of being okay."
But
so
now
maybe
you
they're
can't-
really looking out for
now
him.
he can't throw a pitch.
That's not good.
What do you do with that?
And then another one of our guys, Anthony Banda, who's actually been really good for us, decided to punch a wall, and now he's on the IL.
Yeah. Guys, please explain to
You
me.
can't punch a wall with your pitching hand. Come on.
And that's not the first time that's happened, by the way. Like, just in... Oops, sorry.
Even on our team, I think.
Well, on our team, but just in general, like, pitcher gets mad and they punch a wall. I'm like, please explain the logic. What male testosterone is going on in your head in that moment that thinks that you can win the fight with the wall? Adam, I'm going to need you to weigh in on this because you have male testosterone. At least we think so. And I just don't understand what tells you in that moment, I'm so angry, I can win the fight with a brick wall.
Well, they're not thinking in that moment, obviously.
Well, clearly.
But yeah, what
Adam?
What are they thinking?
I think I can beat up a brick wall. I think I can win a fight. Sure.
So whatever the opposite of male fragility
with
is,
that.
it's
Let's see you run into the brick wall with Ivy at Wrigley.
yeah.
I don't understand why we're asking me this question. Have I given off, like uncontrollable male testosterone? Like what? I'm not an out of control character.
Well, that's not true. I've seen you at a game and I've seen you cheer.
That's
that
the
was
most
a little
enthusiastic I've
extreme.
ever seen you get really excited for the Cubs. So who knows what
Guys,
happens
you
when
should
you get
have seen
angry.
this. He would do it, and then as soon as it turned for us, like we would do the exact same. Like we would act like him, back to him.
Which was really fun.
Yeah,
I
it was
really
a good
enjoyed it.
time.
I yelled in his face a couple times.
I got it on camera, which was nice. We're
Yeah.
working on figuring out a way.
Nick took those videos, right? He took great videos.
He took one, I took one, but we're working on figuring out how to cover up Adam's face, like moving wise, so that we can show you all the really wonderful moment of Melissa and Adam's face being like, ha ha!
We were equally as obnoxious as he was.
Yeah, I did a lot of thigh slapping.
I think the Dodger fans around us appreciated it.
I think they enjoyed it. I think they knew it was all in good fun and good banter at the end of the day. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, our pitching is a mess.
Defensively, we do need to,
And
tighten
our
up.
team were playing like little leaguers defensively the first two games against the Cubs. Like, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of the replays and just was kind of shocked at the stupid mistakes.
You're like, guys, what are we doing here?
It's okay, because they'll learn from it.
Yes, once again, going back to the optimism of what can come out, which I do think there is good things that come out of that. It shows you that, hey, just because you're playing really well doesn't guarantee, just because you're supposed to, because you got all these good players, doesn't guarantee you anything. Doesn't mean you're going to always win.
And we talked about the ebbs and flows of baseball. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you make mistakes. Also, kind of relating to going back to your former team and like playing really well, I do find that if a player makes a mistake defensively, they will come back at their next at bat and get a hit and do really well because of how they're feeling of
Trying to make
needing
up.
to prove themselves and make up for the mistake.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I really am looking forward to the postseason. It's fun to hear other baseball fans talk about how they're like watching other teams because they're dependent on the other teams winning or losing for their team to go in. And all my Mets loving cousins right now are also rooting for the Dodgers, and that just never happens. So receiving a text from my cousin Katie, who's like, I need the Dodgers right now. And then my cousin Michael this morning, rooting for the Dodgers this series. I'm like, yay.
See, and that is fun. I think this is the part of this season in which, yeah, like you said, we pretty much like you watch your team for the most part during the season. But then we get to these last couple of weeks and you start to say, okay, well, what needs to happen? What do I want to happen with this team, with that team? So you actually start to watch a little bit more of these other teams. And,
are you
and
ever
what's going on.
keeping track of how other teams are doing besides like right now? Like looking at scores of other games?
I look at the records a little bit more than I do. Like, I'm not watching a ton of other games usually, and unfortunately in my household the other team is the Rockies. Mm-hmm. They might lose 100 games this season.
Are they making a record like the White Sox?
Not quite. They are not at the White Sox level. That is a whole... Which actually they might... The White Sox might break it. Where, Adam, can you check where they're at? Last I looked, they were at 114. And 120, I think, is the modern record of...
I mean, I'm just looking at the scores of the Padres games.
Yeah.
And the
I'm
Diamondbacks
looking at the
games.
standings. Like, I kind of look at the standings of the entire, like,
yeah, I like
AL
watching the
and
breakdown for
NL.
the division and then the standings of the NL and the AL.
Well, and like I know right now,
Love seeing our team up top.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, and I know the Yankees and the Orioles are there in a fight for who's going to win that division. So like that's kind of fun to pay attention to, and obviously I watch every game. Once postseason starts, I don't watch just Dodgers. I watch every game that's happening.
Yeah,
because it's just so much fun, and it's like the feeling and it's just alive. Like it feels
really
electric.
is a different type of play, and I wonder.
Excitement is
this
different.
year, with the adrenaline that comes with playing in the postseason, that will help our pitching staff.
From your mouth to their ears and hands.
We do have a great, solid bullpen when they're playing well. It's kind of on and off. Either they're all doing really well and they just shut it down, and I'm like, yes, our bullpen is great.
Or they give up 5 hits and you're like, or 5 runs, and you're like, why? What are we doing? I know. I hope at least they can come out strong, because they've had a pretty tough season themselves because of the fact that guys aren't going as long. Like, these starters aren't going 6+ innings anymore.
We've never had a season like this where our starters can't get past 4 innings.
This is new precedent, especially that early in the season that started to happen.
And that's why I'm just wondering, are other teams the same?
Yeah. That's a good question. Fans out there.
I would love you to leave a comment if you know. Yeah,
fans of other teams that somehow end up on our page and, I don't know, watching this. What, do you have the same concern? Are your teams having just as much pitching injuries this season? Is it just us? Is it just the Dodgers? Or are you having the same struggles with not being able to keep guys healthy on the mound?
I know everyone's talking about the pitching injuries. I just wonder if it's as crucial as our team.
As detrimental as our team.
It's just scary because, we went into this season so optimistic. We spent, $1 billion or whatever, and there's so much hype about our team. So to then watch us kind of become in the same spot as we were in years past is like, why isn't anything changing again?
I know. I mean, part of it is that you can't predict injuries, and I guess I get that. Like, I don't know. It's a stupid analogy, but I think about that from like a fantasy football perspective. You can't predict injuries. They happen. It's a part of playing sports. But it has happened so many times over and over again. You think that there has to be some lesson to be learned in there. Because, injuries don't just happen. There's a reason they happen. So it's like, can we not figure out the reason they're happening? I mean, I know we kind of have, and it's a combination of all those things. And that's where, as much as I know it was just kind of being talked about, it's not actually being implemented. But I do think that they should make some form of rule where your starter has to go a certain amount of innings and you can't pull him unless it's for injury, or he's let off a certain number of hits. Like, you could put a cap of like, if they, I don't know. I don't know what the number is, but if they give off 8 runs or whatever, then they can be pulled. But you can't just pull your starter because he's not playing well, which would force guys into having to not maybe throw with max velocity, which maybe would allow for them to go a little longer. Like, they're going to have to figure out something, because we can't, moving forward in years, you can't keep letting this happen. You can't continue to have these injuries be a thing, because it's not just happening to one team. Like, it is happening to a lot. I just want to know,
like, what is their throwing routine in between games?
Yeah.
And it seems like an obvious answer is to throw less. But I don't know.
Yeah, but if you throw... But isn't there something about needing to stay warm? Like, like you shouldn't be throwing
stuff like that.
The amount that you would in a game, but you can't go in cold turkey either, right?
But now I'm thinking about the javelin again. And I know it sucks and it kind of is like hypocritical to my point because Yamamoto got injured, but I really do see that helping players' arms.
I mean, I've never thrown a javelin.
Maybe they should all have a javelin lesson.
Some of the 90s Braves pitchers talk about, like Greg Maddux, John Smoltz. I've heard them talk about how it's actually the opposite. They should throw more. Now, not necessarily throw, 100% all the time, but like Greg Maddux was throwing long toss every single day. He was, they're playing catch all the time, and I don't know the science behind this. I find it counterintuitive. Like this is in the NBA as well, with a lot of guys doing load management of like, we're going to sit out and we're going to rest. I think the best way, like just intuitively, I would think the best way to stay healthy and maintain health is if you're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing every single day. Like, you're not going to get injured if you're out there training your body. Like, this is the norm. We're exerting this amount of energy. We're moving in this way all the time. And I just think it's counterintuitive to say, no, don't do the thing that we're paying you to do.
But I don't think that this is the same thing as like for basketball players. Throwing 100 miles per hour repeatedly
I think
is why their arms are getting...
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I agree with you on that, but I think to his point, and what like Greg and them are talking about is they weren't throwing 100 every single day.
It's the repetitive motion.
It's the repetitive nature of... It's like grease in the wheel. Think about it. Like if you... take exercise. If you only go hard exercise and you lift crazy heavy weights once every 2 weeks... you are going to hurt yourself. You're going to injure yourself. When I take 3 days off and then I try to do it again, I'm like, dear God, I'm destroyed and I'm so sore and everything. But if I'm doing it consistently every day, I'm not. I'm not sore. I'm working that muscle. It's being built up. We should check with LA on this.
We need a sports scientist on
we do.
To like talk about, because I'm super confused about all of this.
Me too.
It seems very strange that, and obviously
maybe
we don't know.
Katie can connect.
We don't know their training methods or anything like that, but it seems counterintuitive that they would just.
Well, it seems like right the day after they pitch, they take that day off and don't throw at all, and then the next 3 days, or 4 days, because isn't it 5 every 5?
Yeah.
Then they ramp up their throwing again. Yeah, I guess they need to figure out how to get creative with throwing not so hard when they're practicing in between games.
Yeah, I think they just have a consistency of throwing, but not at max velocity to where you're really doing the thing you're doing, and then go out there and look, there are dudes that are really good and you're not getting hits off of them, and they're throwing, 94. Why can't we get back to a little bit more of that? Like I think
they need to lower the mound. I think they need to lower or move the mound back. I think that's
move it back.
Yeah, move it back.
So they're throwing farther.
Yeah, because I think a rule change of that nature would then influence the pitchers to reevaluate their approach. Right now, because of where the mound is and because of how high it is, they know, like, they have trained their bodies enough to say, okay, we can throw this amount. There does come a tipping point, though, of, like, if it's a certain distance away, like, there's just a human arm cannot throw more than, like, 106 miles an hour. It's just, it can't do it. You can't do it in the way that...
106, wasn't that the fastest pitch thrown this year?
Yeah, it was either that guy from the Angels or Aroldis Chapman. But, like... just based on how dominant the pitchers are right now, I think the next, like, they moved the mound back or down back in 1968 after the year of the pitcher, or the 1969 after the year of pitcher. Like, Bob Gibson had like a 1.12 ERA. He had the best pitching season of all time, and MLB was like, holy crap. There were a ton of pitchers who had their best seasons of all time. We need to do something about this. They moved the mound back or down.
Oh, interesting.
They need to do that again.
Yeah.
I think, you hear them talk about this starting from youth baseball and not having them throw so hard starting at such a young age. I also hear a lot of athletes that are the best athletes talk about how they played multiple sports growing up. So they weren't solely playing baseball and how much that has helped them just as an athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm also wondering if they were to just try different things. Like, I would think yoga would be very helpful for
flexibility. It definitely would. Freddie probably does yoga.
I think a lot of players do. He actually does splits on the field.
He does. Which I'm amazed. There's a lot of elasticity in those pants. We've never once seen him rip a pair.
I know. And that whole uniform thing at the beginning of the year.
Shocking, right? That we never saw his butt.
He's been pretty quiet.
He has actually a little lately. Hopefully his battle become loud again soon.
Yeah.
But no, I just to your
Will Smith is waking up.
He is. Thank God for that. We need him. We need everybody to wake back up right now.
I know.
But I agree with you. Like to your point, I think playing multiple sports makes you more well-rounded. I don't know if you had this experience, but since we were both competitive cheerleaders growing up, we would have, because mine was co-ed, and we'd have guys that they played baseball and football and these other sports, and in the off season they would do competitive cheerleading with us because it worked so many different muscles than they were used to working, which made them a little bit more well-rounded in their strength and their ability. And at least from what I was told, it like helped them in their primary sport. And granted, I guess when you get to a level of professional, like you don't have time to do other sports, but what can
before
you do
you
in
kind
certain
of
moments?
make your decision on what you're going to narrow in on, and you decide like baseball is my thing, you hear guys talk about playing multiple sports and how that really has been beneficial in how they play now.
Do you know
I
Jock
played
Peterson did
softball, I
that?
did track, I did gymnastics, and then I switched to competitive cheerleading, and I'm grateful for that, not just because I feel like it made me strong and I love to be an athlete, but also just the sense of camaraderie and being on a team and all that taught me.
Yeah. Oh, so much. Do you know Jock Peterson played football and
I'm not
baseball?
surprised, but it was fun to talk to Miley's boyfriend about how much he loves Jock on the team. And also just think about Jock's career. Yeah. He has helped every team he's been on. How many World Series titles does he have? He won with the Braves. He won with the Dodgers.
He went
back to back.
Yeah, he went to the World Series with.
How many does he have? Adam, are you doodling or what?
He just has 2.
He has 2, and he went to the World Series with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say went to the World Series with the Diamondbacks last year. I was like, wait, he was with them last year, right? And
it just seems like every team he's on does really well.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely contributing to every team he goes to, which is
and he is a force at the plate.
He is, and he's got a lot of oomph behind him. He went to high school with Devontae Adams.
Really?
And yeah, they played on the same football and basketball team. I learned that.
And he got in a fight with Tommy Pham, right? Was it Tommy Pham that he got in a fight with over fantasy football?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wait, aren't they both on the Diamondbacks?
No.
Maybe they can never be on the same team because of that.
I don't know if ownership will care about that quite as much. Think they'd have
How
to work
funny
it out.
was Katie's story about crashing Jock's rehearsal dinner?
That is amazing. I just love how when you're a kid, you have so much more just gumption and fire to do things. Like you don't recognize the risk as much, and you're you're just freer I feel like as a kid. Like I know I did things similarly at that age. I think you did too, where you don't have a care in the world, and you're not remotely concerned about the consequences, and you just I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put on a pretty dress and I'm gonna just go be here. I would never do it now, like the age I am.
Is there anything you're thinking of right now that you did growing up?
Yeah, I snuck into the Golden Globes like after parties one year because I was bored.
Really?
I was 19. I was living in LA, and the best part about it is, for some other reason I thought I should bring my prom dresses from high school to Los Angeles with me because you never know, you might need them. And I think I was watching the Golden Globes one night. Was bored in my place in Burbank, and they always have these Golden Globe after parties. They're huge. It's a really big thing out here. And I was like, you know what? I should go to one of them. I should go.
Look at you.
And so I put on my red prom dress, and I walked up. And it's also easier to get in and do things when you're by yourself. Because you're not trying to like worry about, I'm trying to get up so thin.
I think also if you're a girl.
You're a girl. I also had a southern accent at the time, like a thick one. So I was like deep southern, young Allie.
I'm Allie from Alabama.
Bold as could be. Didn't have a care in the world. And I had a way of just southern charming it through a lot of things back in the day. And I showed up and I started chatting with security all dressed to the nines. I don't remember how I exactly like weaseled my way in.
Where was the party?
At the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Wow.
I just kind of showed up and started chit-chatting and da-da-da-da-da. And at a certain point, they just kind of forgot to tell me I wasn't supposed to be there. And I just wandered my way in and was at the party and hanging out and eating food.
Did you have fun?
And seeing a lot of famous people. I did. I don't remember if I even talked to anyone. I just kind of was there. Which similar to Katie's story, they showed up and they were there and they didn't talk to anybody, but they were like in the photos. And I just love it. I love those stories.
I'm imagining Jock and his wife looking at the photos and then seeing these random people that they don't know.
I think that's hilarious. I really hope they do. We're like, who are these people?
I'm going to post a video of that and let's see if it gets back to them. And if they're like, there they are.
I remember this. Yeah, exactly. Right? I have to tag
That's
Jock
fun.
and Jock
you know
and
where
Kelsey.
you can most likely find a lot of the people that go to the Golden Globes afterwards?
Where?
In-N-Out.
Really? Mm-hmm. I know that's like isn't
when
that
I
a thing
lived
for the Oscars too.
Or is that the Oscars because they are
I think
at
it's
the
the
Chinese
Oscars.
Theater? Because when I lived right by Runyon, it was right by that In-N-Out.
I think it's the Oscars because it's that In-N-Out is right there, and it's like 2 blocks from where the Dolby Theater is, or I don't know if it's Dolby anymore, but I think it's Dolby. It used to be Kodak. That's what.
Oh,
now it's
right,
Dolby.
right.
But yeah, it's so funny the balls we have on us when we're.
One time, Sam
kiddos.
and I were at a Golden Globes party, and
You were invited.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
but I think Sam was styling someone,
Nice.
and then she took me along. But we weren't having a great time. It was just that like pretentious vibe that LA has a lot, and that's not our vibe. So we actually left the Golden Globes party in our really beautiful dresses and went to Mel's Diner.
Oh my God, I love that. Honestly, sounds like the much better decision. Mm-hmm. Which actually, fun little fact about Sam, who styles people so lovely. Sam styled me for my first ever Emmy.
She did
nomination a couple of years back,
and you looked beautiful,
which was very fun. I felt like a little princess.
And aren't you going to see
up.
her later?
I am. She is helping me
Alter some things.
Alter a dress for my legal ceremony coming up.
Ooh, so some really important events in your life that
Just a few.
that Sam gets to be
Sam
a part
gets
of.
to be a part of a handful of important things
Oh,
in
that's
my
actually
life,
really
which
sweet.
is pretty fun. And you know what? I will say, my wedding, I don't think there will be. I don't think there's really a way to
Crash.
have any people crashing my photos. But that's a funny thing to like be able to look back on. I would think so.
Would you? I mean, I guess like I would never picture myself having that big of a wedding that I didn't know everyone there.
No, we're having a small wedding in Italy, so
I would
minimal
think-
people.
And it didn't sound like they had that big of a rehearsal dinner that day. So,
But Katie said the whole team was there. Can you imagine just being in the same room and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can.
All these people that
I can imagine it because it will happen.
I like that. I like that thought process that you have there.
So, do we have any closing thoughts going into the series with the Braves? And Okay, so we're what? We're 4 or 5 games ahead right now in our division.
We were 5 last I looked. But closing remarks, not about the Braves, but about... I get it that he doesn't play defense, but I think Shohei should win NL MVP. Mm-hmm. He's doing something that has never been done before. Mm-hmm. I get that he's only DHing, but he has made a massive impact to this team. Mm-hmm. Him doing those steals is setting us up for more success because he's getting home more often because of it. Mm-hmm. No one has ever had a 50-50 season, and no, he's not done it yet. He's at 47-48. But we have enough time left that it's pretty clear he's going to get there. That's never happened.
Yep.
The DH has never won the MVP. So to be playing the way that he's doing, I'm just like, how do you not give it?
But I do feel that his impact on our team is equal to Lindor.
I do too.
And every time he steals another base or hits another home run, he's making history. And I think that's what really puts him over the edge.
He's making the team get so
and I just really like how intentional he was coming into this year and really wanting to make an impact in another way besides his offense. And the fact that he's doing that, making history doing that, and helping our team win. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like he will get the MVP, but there is a solid argument with Lindor. He's playing incredibly well. I think if he helps the Mets get to the postseason, that's makes it harder to make that decision. Yeah. I also do feel like part of me does want to see other players win MVP. Just because I think Shohei's going to win a lot.
Somebody in the AL
but again,
win differently.
But then again, it's like it's the best player. So if it's Shohei every year in a row, then what? It just sucks that all these players are playing in the same time as him? Yeah. Yeah. Like even look at Mookie.
It's not fair. You can't rob a player of it just because they've been consistently good and consistently deserved it.
I know. My heart just wants to see other people get acknowledged, and he is playing so well, and he really is helping his team. And I think the ability to win a game on defense is why people are making the argument for Lindor and how impactful he is on the Mets. So
I'm not taking anything away from Lindor. Like he is playing incredibly well, and he does have a case that
and I do like him as a player.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's just it's hard for me to see a world in which, because he can't play defense, he has found a different way to contribute.
I also heard players talking about how amazing Shohei is in outfield.
Wow. I think I've heard that before, which is like, no, not right now.
I feel like we will see that in his Dodger career maybe one day. At some point. It also just is really, again, I know we've talked about this, but it's really cool to watch him and how amazing he is. I mean, this is arguably the best player ever. That's true. And that's really cool. And I do want Shohei to win. I just think it's important to consider all the factors and the players and acknowledge the other people doing really well. So
yeah, no, he should definitely be considered. Who's looking like they're gonna win it for the AL?
Judge?
It's between Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know Judge because he's close to 62, but
one of our fans messaged us saying, I bet Shohei is going to beat Judge in homers.
I saw that too.
Right? I liked the optimism.
I mean, I like the optimism.
What is Judge at right now?
I don't know.
Because if he did that, that's, shoo-in to win. Yeah. We'll see. Let's see where we're at next time we record.
Right? Maybe we'll be at 50.
Did we cover? I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about.
I think we did. And we're pretty much out of time. So
Adam keeps holding up the sign telling us that we need to shut up.
I've actually ignored what he's been doing, but I've seen his hands back there. So I imagine that means we're running out of time.
Aaron Judge is at 51 currently.
Okay, so he's actually not that close
he's
to
close.
62.
And Shohei's at 47.
Yeah.
Wonder how many home runs he's going to hit this Braves series.
Ooh, should we take a bet on it?
3.
You want him to hit 50. Yeah, I'm going to go 2.
I think 3 out of
I'll
the
be
4
more
games
moderate.
he's going to hit a homer.
Oh, wait, it's a 4-game series?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then yeah, I could see 3. But I don't know if I can.
We've been playing so many. Okay, I know we have to end, but we've been playing so many 3-game series that I was actually surprised to see.
I know,
that
that's
it was
why
a
I
4-game
just assumed
series.
it was a 3-game series, and that's why I was going to go with 2.
And I think that. Okay, Adam, guys, he's being so annoying back there, so I'm going to take the fly swatter and go
He's
actually
telling
hit
us
him.
it's time. This was a fun one. Guys, as much as we rag on Adam and he does annoy us, it's very fun going to games with him. So, you know.
It's fun to have this what, Adam?
We're
trying to give you some
I know.
credit.
I don't need the credit. Tell people to follow the podcast.
We're wrapping out. Oh,
we did
gosh.
last time. We have to do it again?
Okay, so apparently we need to make sure we're asking you guys this often, even though we don't remember. But
When
if
you listen,
would-
just make sure you're following.
yeah, make sure you're following us, subscribe on whatever platform is your favorite.
Leave us comments. Let
Leave
us know what you like.
Like it if it's, I don't know if there's like buttons on these things, but like it, support it, subscribe.
Like
Great.
it.
Who do you miss?
Remember Bop It? I'm thinking.
Bop It.
Like it. Comment. Rate it.
Who do you miss? Who do you
That's a
miss?
clip right there. Like it, comment, rate it.
Uh-huh.
Done. Big fan.
Okay, we're gonna run out of time. Who do you miss?
Oh.
Who do I miss today?
I miss Tyler Glass now.
I miss every one of our pitchers that's broken.
I miss Kershaw. I miss Corey Seager, who got injured. I miss
Dustin May
Maybe
hasn't-
Tony Gonsolin's gonna come out.
Dustin May
Adam's gonna
hasn't
actually
pitched
turn
in
it off on us.
ages.
I
Years.
miss Jay Hay. Oh wait, I even had something to say about Jay Hay today.
Okay, well, bye guys. Good to see you. Well,
okay.
actually, we're not seeing. Talk to you later.
Bye. That
See
was
you
a fun
later.
ending.
I don't see anyone.